this person that was kind of at the same point in life with me, in that we went to the same high school, all of a sudden, out of the blues, she's like traveling and she's doing her own thing and she has her mortgage. And that's completely amazing. But is that even what I want? But just constantly being exposed to these things that other people have, it's so easy to compare.
Okay, welcome. Oh my God, y'all. Welcome to Get In Girl.
Let's get started. Do you think my hair should be back? I just leave it like this. Okay. Hey girl, hi. Welcome to another episode of the Get In Girl podcast. I am shooting this so late, but here I am. Let's get into it. So what I want to talk about today is, have you ever had one of those days where like you're scrolling, and you're just like, wait a minute, like why does everybody else's life seem so much better than my own? Like I was on Instagram the other day, and I think someone I went to high school with, she was like, oh yeah, like her mortgage, I was like, you have a mortgage? That's so, like, I was happy for her, like that was so nice. But when we kind of get into this cycle of like you scroll, you compare, and then you kind of start to wonder like, why am I not even happy with my own life? That's what we're gonna talk about today. So you better listen to this episode. You better sit down, grab a cup of coffee, grab some water, and let's get into it. So the topic for today, I really want to get into social media and the fear of missing out. You know me, I stay doing research, like I'm not really like an essay writing person, but I always want to make sure that what I'm talking about on the podcast is actually relevant to my audience and is actually relevant to the people listening to it. So I'm always, browsing, looking, what are people really talking about? Like, what are people really kind of feeling some type of way about? And that's kind of like where I get these topics, in case you ever wonder. But what I want to talk about today, again, is social media and the fear of missing out. And something really interesting that I found out, and I don't know if this is helpful to you. I hope it is helpful to you. It's always really helpful to me when I hear stuff like this. But more than half of, like millennials and like other people actually feel like from social media, more than half of millennials actually experience this fear of missing out. Like a lot of people are on social media and you're looking at other people's lives and you're like, damn, like why can't things be working for me like that? So I kind of started with this statistic to let you know that you're not alone. Like that's literally the first thing I always want to let you know. You are not alone. Like no matter how, because I feel like a lot of times, like when we're in our own bubbles, it's so easy to look at your life and be like, oh, I just feel like sometimes I just feel like I must be the only person going through this. Like I'm like, there's like nobody else has experienced what I'm currently experiencing in my life, and somebody help me, please. It just feels really overwhelming because you're like, this is not the life that I envisioned for myself. Like this is not how I want to be living my life. And we're in our own little bubbles, and we kind of forget sometimes that other people are going through what we're going through as well. And I think that's a really important thing to remember, because it kind of comforts me a bit. It kind of makes me feel like, okay, you know what, like I'm not really in this alone. Like if there's other people going through this, then that means there's people that have gotten through this. And if there's other people that have gotten through this, that just means that I can get through this as well. And that's really comforting for me. And I hope that is comforting for you as well. And even another thing that I kind of like saw in my research was that a lot of anxiety that people actually feel, because me, something that is actually a common thread in a lot of my podcast episodes is comparison. And one thing I'm going to tell you, do not compare yourself to Becky down the street. Don't be comparing yourself to Joe down the street, because comparison is what do people say? Comparison is the thief of joy. Not me forgetting the quote before I even said it. But the people that said comparison is the thief of joy, they really knew what they were talking about. Because the moment you start looking at someone else's life, of course, if I'm looking at, this person's life on Instagram, on social media, and, she has her mortgage, she has her, senior role, whatever, lead in her career. She has like her car, she has like all these things going on for her. She's always traveling. if I'm looking at her life and I'm looking at my life, I'm like, that's a stark contrast. But also, you know what? The way that comparison actually works is that like you're looking at, have you ever seen one of those videos where it's like you're looking at Becky's life being like, oh my God, I wish I had, I think, what was it? I think it was somebody in a like on a bike, like someone was like riding a bike and they were like looking at someone in a car being like, oh, I wish I could afford a car. Like, you know, I don't want to be biking to work. Like, I just wish I could afford a car. And somebody else was looking at the person on the bike being like, bro, I wish I could even like afford a bike at all so I don't have to like walk. And even the person that was walking, somebody was begging on the side of the street being like, oh, I wish I could walk. And I kind of just use that example to remind you that that's the crazy thing about comparison, because it's so easy to get so caught up in your own minds, but you don't realize that even the things that you have that you may not necessarily be grateful for are things that other people would literally give everything to actually have. Like that thing that you're maybe not complaining about, but that thing that you're kind of like taking for granted is literally somebody else's like answered prayers. Like they're praying for it like consistently right now, and you're like, oh, I wish I had something more. I wish I had something better. So I think really getting into that comparison trap, that's where a lot of anxiety that people feel about their lives are. Because if you're just living in your own world, like if you're the only person in the world, or if everybody was kind of at the same stage in life as you were, like there's no pressure, there's no anxiety, there's no feeling bad, because you're like, the most attainable thing is where I currently am. So there's nothing, like you might aspire, but like you don't even have anyone to aspire to, because you're not even seeing what somebody else's life is. And that's kind of, I guess, the downside of social media, in that because like normally, like without social media, the only people you would really know are, let's say, the people on your street or the people in your school. And yeah, you would still compare yourself to those people as well. But then with social media, like there's just like, you're just exposed to so many people doing different things like around the world. So you're not just comparing yourself to like 2 or 3 people, you're comparing yourself to like 500,000s and millions of people. And just that constant comparison can really get very unhealthy very quickly. And that's where a lot of anxiety comes from. And that's also where a lot of like social media fatigue comes from. Because I don't know about you, but honestly, a lot of times when I scroll, and I'm just like, what am I even like doing here? I'm going to get into what kind of helped me to steer away from excessive social media use. Like what kind of helped me reduce how frequently that I use social media. But I also want to get into my own story, because you know, I like to tell you about my life story. I like to tell you about like what's happened in my own life. And I remember when I was in university, that sounds like such a crazy phrase. Like I was talking to my cousin the other day and we're just like, bro, do you remember when we're like, you know, like playing around, we're like cousins, we're like 12, we're like 14, we're 15, and now we're 26, we're gonna be 27. Somebody's probably watching this video and they're like in their 30s and their 40s and they're like, you're such a kid. But to us, we're not kids anymore, and it's so crazy. But back when I was in university, I remember like I've never, you know how people always have a like club phase and everybody, you know, they want to go to the club and they're at the club so often. I never ever had a club phase. Like I never had a club phase. And even though I didn't have a club phase because number one, I never liked the loud music. Like when music, I think, you know what it is? I think I get easily overstimulated by like senses. Like my senses are very easily overstimulated. So like when music is too loud, I'm like, why are you screaming? Like another reason I don't, y'all, because I'm like, why are you screaming? There's no, like, your volume does not need to be that high. But also I already have a really loud voice, so that doesn't really help the situation. But anyway, so I never really liked that the music was too loud. Like after like 5-10 minutes, I'm like, bro, I need to like sit down. I'm like, okay, well, is there gonna be any food? Like I gotta eat. I don't even drink alcohol. I don't like sweaty, like I don't sweat a lot, but like other people's sweaty bodies rubbing up against me, ew, disgusted. I'm just like, ugh. It literally gives me the creepy crawlies. I don't even know. I'm just like, that's just nasty. So imagine me, all those things, just remember all the things that I just listed out for you. I don't like alcohol. I don't like loud music. I don't like sweating. I don't like people like touching up on me. That's literally the entire essence of a club. But even with that, like me knowing all those things, I would still feel like my friends, like I'll still see my friends, like the group of friends that I had at that time, I'll still see them like going out to the club and I'm like, oh my God, like y'all didn't even invite me. That's crazy. And that's a completely separate topic. But even though I didn't really enjoy what they were doing anyway, but just being on social media and seeing that, oh, like these people were out and about going to the club without me, it just made me feel some type of way, because I'm like, oh my God, like aren't y'all my friends? Like, don't you guys want to hang out with me? And they're like, bro, you don't even like going out to the clubs. And I'm like, okay, but you still gotta ask me though. Like, I'm gonna say no, but just still ask me. And they would just be like, what is this conversation? And I kind of use that example just to talk about like sometimes the things that were even like looking at other people's lives and being like, oh, this person has this and this person has that. It might not even be things that we want. Because I never even wanted to, like, in the example I gave of a person I went to high school with, you know, having a mortgage and a car and everything. Like, yeah, I want to get a car. I haven't gotten a car because your girl does not know how to drive yet. I'm learning, but I don't know how to drive. Anyway. So yes, I want to get a car. Before the mortgage, I'm like, I never wanted to even get a mortgage until, like, you know, I was ready to have kids and I was ready to like get married and all those things. But she's, you know, she's still young and she's still single and she has a mortgage. So that's not even what I want. Like, that's not even like, I'm not even at the time where I would want that. But seeing another person have that kind of just makes me be like, oh my God, this person's life, this person that was kind of at the same point in life with me, in that we went to the same high school, all of a sudden, out of the blues, she's like traveling and she's doing her own thing and she has her mortgage. And that's completely amazing. But is that even what I want? But just constantly being exposed to these things that other people have, it's so easy to compare. And another thing actually is that if you actually think about things logically, because I'm a huge advocate for, okay, let's actually examine this logically. If you think about this logically, how often do you that you're watching this right now, how often do you post about your struggles? Like, if I go to your Instagram, like pull up your Instagram page right now and go to your feed, and how many times have you posted a video of like, or like posted a photo of like, yeah, no, I lost my job, or yeah, no, this person passed away, or yeah, no, like this thing is happening in my life, like I'm going through this tough situation. How many times have you posted that? Some of you may have. Personally, I don't post that on my Instagram feed. It doesn't mean I'm not going through stuff. It just means like the only time I'm on Instagram, honestly, I'm not even I just kind of fell off Instagram, to be honest with you. But even when I was on Instagram, I would only literally post like proof of life, like every like couple months, every like twice a year. Like that would be my posting on Instagram. It doesn't mean like I'm like hibernated during the like in between periods. It might just means like, oh, you know what, like there's no like celebratory moment yet, and I'm just not posting anything. So if you actually consider it logically, nobody's posting their down days, nobody's posting their down times. Everybody only posts the good things that are happening in their lives. So if you look at it that way, social media is literally a highlight reel. You know, when you watch a movie and they show you kind of the whole movie and you're like, oh my God, like that was so amazing, like that was so fun. And then sometimes they put in the like behind the scenes clips, and then you're watching the behind the scenes clips, and you kind of see like how many times they had to like rerun the scripts to see this perfect thing that you're watching and that you thought was great. But then like if they didn't post the behind the scenes, the only thing you would see is the movie and you go, oh my God, that's so amazing. That's literally the same thing with social media, y'all. Like, everybody's only posting the finished movie. Like, you're only seeing the highlight reel. You're not seeing the behind the scenes. I'm only seeing that she has a mortgage. I'm not seeing her mortgage payments. I'm only seeing this. I'm not seeing that. Like, I'm not seeing any of the struggles of this person. I'm only seeing like all the good things that she's accomplishing. And I'm like, oh damn, like I wish that was me. But do you even post the bad things that are happening to you? You probably don't. So then if even on your own feed is not your full complete life story, so then why are you comparing your own complete life story to someone else's incomplete life story? Like, you're only seeing like one to like A to like D of their lives, and there's like D to Z, but then you're comparing their A to D to your A to Z. The math is not really mathing. Like, the balance sheet is not really balancing. Like, it's not really adding up. Because again, like, let's actually think about it logically. But anyway, I'm going to give you a 4-step framework, like I always do, to kind of help you put this topic into practice, but also something that you can kind of take away and work on for this week. The first thing that I want you to do, every single time that you're scrolling on social media and you see someone else's life and you're like, oh, like your mind just goes like, oh, I really wish I had what this person has. I want you to immediately say out loud to yourself, this is their highlight reel. You might be looking at somebody posting like, oh yeah, they just had a baby, or they're having a baby with their partner, or they just got married, blah, blah. But you didn't see all the heartbreaks that they had though, because what? This is their highlight reel. When you kind of get into I'm not saying don't be happy for anybody. Like, don't go under somebody's comments of them posting about their wedding day and be like, oh, this is just a highlight reel. You will get blocked immediately. And as you should. Don't be putting out negative energy. That's just something you should tell yourself. That's not a comment. That's an internal thought. Say it out loud to yourself. But that is just a highlight reel. And the more that you kind of start to tell yourself that, the more that you start to be like, okay, you know what? Fair, this is a highlight reel. This is a highlight reel. And that's okay. You have your own highlight reels of your own moments too, but nobody is posting their struggles. Number 2, I think it's also really important to find your tribe. Like, if this is the point in my life where I'm in, there's probably other people that are not going through what I'm going through, but when I didn't want to be like out of the club, and all like the friend group that I had, they were always at the club. Of course, I'm always feeling left out if like they're always at the club and I'm like, I don't like the club. I went like one time and I was like, reinforced. Anytime I'm like, I don't like this thing, and someone's like, oh yeah, try, and I try, I'm just like reinforced. Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes it goes well, most times it's not it. So what I did was that I literally just like found other friends. Like, why not just find other friends that are doing what you want to do? For my instance, for example, but found other friends that were doing what I wanted to do. And if this applies to you as well, like, okay, why don't you find other friends? Like I was like going bowling and I'm not good at bowling, but I was going bowling. I was going, there's a time we went like go-kart riding. I'm also not good at that. I don't know what I'm good at, to be very honest with you, because but it was fun, right? It was fun because I found people that were willing to do the things that I wanted to do versus sitting at home sulking and being sad that the friends that I felt like I was stuck with were wanting to do something else entirely, completely. So finding your tribe might also be helpful to you. The third thing, I actually want you to just experiment. Like, just take the time out to actually just run a tiny experiment. Like, why don't you go without using social media for some time and like see what is the worst that's actually going to happen? Because a lot of times people are like, okay, well, I don't want to really like miss out on news, or like I don't really want to miss out on trends or like things that are happening, or on like who's like beefing who, or like who dropped an album, blah, blah, blah. I don't even watch the news, y'all. I don't watch the news, and the news still finds me. That's just like, that's literally just the way things unfold. Is gonna find you. Me not being the first person to watch the news, or me not being the first person to hear about it, it has not impacted my life in any way. So if you're like, oh, like I just can't, it's just, I just can't, why don't you try it out? Test it out start with 1 week, or even start with 1 day. Just like, okay, for 1 day, I'm not going to go on social media. What is the worst that can happen? Okay, I wasn't there when this album dropped, or I wasn't there to see like who was dissing who. I wasn't there to be like, you know, in on what's going on. So therefore what? Like, what happened as a result? Like, did I spontaneously combust? Probably not. Did I miss out on groundbreaking information? No. So, but again, you might never know until you actually experiment. So I actually want you to take out this week to experiment and test things out. And the final thing that I said, you really need to explore app controls. Now, the app that I use is called 1 Second Pro. This is not an advertisement. The moment I said it's called 1 Second Pro, it just sounded like an advertisement in my head. I'm not being sponsored, y'all. If you want to sponsor me, I would welcome that wholeheartedly. But as of yet, I am not being sponsored. I'm just legit. I can't show you my phone right now because that's what I'm using to record. But the app that I use is called 1 Second Pro. And I got the pro version because you can use a paid version. Like, if you're more disciplined than me, I'll say disciplined. If you're more disciplined than me, because with the free version, like, you can still go into the app and, like, you know, turn it off. If you're not gonna go that far, or if you're not gonna do those things, then by all means, you can definitely use the free version. If you are like me and, you know, sometimes you're just like, I'll just turn it off and like turn it back on. And then before you know it, you're kind of back to square one where you started. I got the pro version of the app. And what the pro version of the app does is that it kind of turns on like a strict block kind of things. Like, once, like, if I say, okay, all the social media apps on my phone, I'm pretty sure it's going to turn on at like maybe 12 a.m. All the social media apps on my phone should be kind of like restricted by like 12 a.m. Like, I could be on Instagram 11:59, and the moment it hits 12 a.m., it just shows a blue screen like, oh, this is blocked as part of blah blah blah. It's nothing fancy, it's just like a blue screen. This is blocked as part of whatever. And even if I go into the app, like, I can't even like click on the option to turn off the app, because like, no, like strict block is enabled, and when strict block is enabled, you can't change anything when it's active. So I literally just have to wait. Even sometimes, you know what I really got into recently? Like I'm not a video games kind of person, but I'm real like mobile games. I'm really into like organizing stuff. So all those mobile games where you have to like kind of like sort colors, I have like 5 of them. It's basically the same thing. It's quite literally basically the same thing, but I have like 5 different one of them. And I'll literally stay up just playing, sorting cats on my phone instead of going to sleep. So like, okay, you know what? This is actually getting kind of concerning. So instead of just social media, I added games onto it now. And I thought, like, what am I going to fill my time with if I'm not doing games? Yo, I just go to bed early. Or I have a book next to my bedside that I'm reading, and I just read my book and I fall asleep. I still have like open time slots for me to like play my games, because, you know, like, give yourself the little joys in life. But I did not spontaneously combust. And that's why I said you could just put it as an experiment. Like, try it out for 1 week. Like, okay, if I don't even do this thing and I've become, bro, there's something I'm going to tell you guys about maybe later on when I actually get the prototype. But literally something that I've been putting off for months and years, even maybe not years, maybe months, probably years as well. I literally just got it done the week that I stopped games on my phone. Very unserious, as you can tell. Very, very unserious. But then, like, now that I'm not spending my time doing all these things, like being on social media, I can actually fill my time with more productive things to do. And even now, when I even have to be on social media for the podcast and I have to like post the shorts and everything, I also have like a kind of like restricted time that I'm on there for. So if I'm on there for like 30 minutes, it kind of like, you have to do another intervention. It's called an intervention, but it's just like every time you open the app, there's like a delay. Like, you can choose the delay. I think mine is like a 20-second delay. So once I hit 30 minutes, I have to like close out the app and do another 20 seconds. And I'm just like, please, it's actually not that deep. So just because I've had that for like actually like a couple months at this point, I'm just so weaned off social media. And I'm just like, it was actually never that deep in the first place. That's what I want you to try this week. If you cannot do the pro version of the app, don't let the takeaway from this video be like, oh, it only works if you have pro. Try it out. use an experiment. Delete it completely if you need to delete it completely. Like the pro version was like $24 for the whole year. So I was like, that's not a lot of money. So I did it. But those are the 4 things that I want you to take away from this week. Every time you see someone and you're like, oh, I wish I had their life, say out loud, not in their comments, say out loud to yourself, this is just a highlight reel. Go find your tribe. There's people doing what you want to do without, or there's people in the same phase of life that you're in that you can spend your time with without comparing yourself to other people on the internet. 3, experiment. What is actually going to happen if I'm not so hung up on social media, or for me, games or social media? What's going to happen? You're not going to spontaneously combust. And 4, explore those app controls. Apps are made to help us. Apps are made to help us be more productive. Explore it. As always, send me a DM if there's anything that you want to talk about. We really need to release ourselves from the fear of comparison, and that is what I'm here to do. Send me a DM on Instagram. Send me a DM. Tell me what this episode really brought out for you. I want to hear what you have to say about it. See you next time. Same place, same time on the Getting Girl podcast. I love you so much. Bye.